fucking typical, I don't know what to do. I'm on the steps if I'm feeling kind of woo. Think you're scary, but I don't know what to do. Got a jaboo, cuckoo, ka-choo. Hey!
Welcome back to the lot. I'm joined tonight by Trey Wet and Camera Time. What's up, guys?
What's up?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hungover this morning, but I'm recovered. It might be a little bit shorter of an episode tonight, but after last night, both the intoxication, but also the PHiSH show. What a night, man! That was crazy.
What a night! It was like late September 1963.
Oh, what a night that was.
Let's break out some barbershop.
Wait, no,
I'll do the high part.
Or barbershop quintet, but we all sing the high spot.
The barbershop trio, you mean?
Yeah, no. Numbers, math isn't our thing here at Wook Plus, but that's okay.
Thanks for calling me out, Kev. It's cool.
No, that's part of the joke. It's the barbershop quintet of three guys, you know. We're all
singing one part.
Yeah, and we only got, exactly. The high
3-1.
100% that none of us can sing. None of us.
Well, you could sing. I can't.
Not
so the night that we're talking about that was in fact quite the night was last night. That was last night, right?
Oh my God, yes, it was.
Last night. I know it feels like at Chula Vista. So do we want to dive right into this or
to the fluff head of all time? Maybe.
No, come on with this.
It's like the worst take I've heard.
No, but people are saying this, and I think I do. Listen,
I think Nashville was better. Personally, I think the Nashville one was better, but
I don't know that there's been a current better. But all I'm saying is that, okay, so I'll say this. I loved it, and who is ever going to complain, I guess me now a little bit, about a fluff head opener, which is amazing. So you're always good. You're always pumped. I don't love it. I love like when Trey shreds out Fluffhead, and I'm not always like a shred out guy at the end. Like you guys know me, I'm down for like the spacey wild jams, but like for me, Fluffhead, like the prototype for me is Clifford Ball. The just that's what I need. And this one doesn't. It does jam out at the end, right? And do some really like wild stuff. But it's doesn't do what I want Fluffhead to do. But again, not complaining except for all that complaining.
So which Chad here is kind of a thought I had, but not for Fluffheads overall, but for Fluffheads as openers, right? Because it like at that show, it was so incredible with the backstory of them having stopped playing it and the emotion of returning to a new era. So I don't know if objectively, and I don't even know if it can be objectively, but I don't know if it were isolated on a different show, if it would have been as great as it's remembered. But that said, I do remember it that way, and I think it was better than last night's, you know, for me personally. But last night it was fucking great. That doesn't take away from last night, right?
The unfinished part is what the selling point is. Is that that they went into another song?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Actually,
they did.
No, because that NICU was
the NICU.
The NICU. I think you have a better argument with NICU than you do with Fluffhead.
Sure. Yeah. I love that song.
Oh, fam, you're muted. You're muted, bro.
Oh man, rookie mistake. It was loud upstairs, and I was like, "Oh man, I better mute." And I don't know how my gain is, but yeah. So this and it's North Ireland Credit Union, right? So I think it was a highly predicted. I think our guy Wody chose NICU as maybe an opener. It was one that I think, right? I think people saw coming in some ways, but I don't think
I'm
anybody.
such a fucking idiot. Like, you know when I learned that? Like
now?
3 seconds ago when you just spelled it out for me. Like, I had
Yeah.
no idea.
Sure enough, North Islands Credit Union. So everybody, you know, and it being a 17-minute though, no one could see. And I think this is something that I've noticed too, which I don't know has always happened for me. Like these jams, the more I listen to them, like the better they get. And this NICU one, I listened to probably 3 or 4 times today throughout the day. And then they released the video and I watched it and I was like, oh man, this thing just keeps getting cooler and cooler and doing other things. And like the tone that he comes up with kind of late in it is just so awesome. And it just sets the tone for the whole night too, you know, in some ways, like literally and figuratively, you know.
It does.
Yeah.
It definitely sets the tone for the whole night, as we'll get to as we go through. But yeah, you know, the song when they first started doing it in '92 or whatever, it always seemed very limited. It was a song, it had a beginning and an end, and there was a nice little maybe guitar solo in it, but that was it. And with the No Fucks tour here, it seems like Trey was like, let's fucking take it to the next level, you know?
Yeah, it's cool that they did it with that because you're right. It's not ever like a song that's like the go-to for a show. But when I'm at a show, I'm never upset when I get it. When they come out with the upbeat picking, you know, what do you call that? The upstream, and you know it's coming, then I'm always having a good time. So the fact that they combine that raw good time energy with the, you know, showstopper, awesome jammed out version, I think was awesome.
In the two hole as well, you know. So you're like, oh, this will be just a regular old 7-minute NICU, and then it's 17.
Yeah, with it like it was going to be a tip of the hat. Yeah, well, you knew we do it. Here it is. You know.
Right. We knew you guys knew it. We knew it. We're playing it, but like, right, it wasn't a.
I mean, you all knew it.
Yeah. Wait.
I had no fucking idea.
Knew it.
I'm a fucking idiot, apparently.
This is another one, and then if we're kind of moving on from that one, the next one is one that if you were scrolling through and spending your days endlessly on Twitter, like you know, like Famer does, which I think we all know, you saw that they sound checked with this one, which was Bye Bye Foot, right? Which Bye Bye Foot, third version ever of Bye Bye Foot. It's not a new song by any means. Super old song that got played once, what, in 97, then in 19, right? It came out somewhere.
Yeah, Deer Creek, I think it was. It was one of the 2 Deer Creek shows, that song.
Yeah, which I love this song, and it's got a really interesting lyric. Have you looked up the lyrics to this, by the way, or just like
where did they bust it out? In South Carolina? Is that where they played the last one? In 2019?
I don't remember.
What were the lyrics, fam?
The lyrics are, it's like something about crossing the line. Okay, so basically it's something about I'll cross a line and I'll keep crossing it until I figure it out and all this stuff. And I'm like,
until it wipes it out, basically.
Right.
He's like dragging his feet back and forth over a line, essentially crossing out the line.
Right.
In
it's
the
a really
sand.
interesting lyric. Like it's got like many, many layers and it's really short, you know, but it's super, it's a cool song. It's kind of a shame it's been buried. You know, I'm glad they brought it back out.
I honestly, the only reason I know this song was from the PHiSH bracket a couple years ago because it made the 360 seeds or whatever, but I didn't like really know it besides that. I listened to it for research purposes, but it's not a great song. I mean, it's cool.
It isn't.
It's cool that they busted it out, but like, it's not like a great song. It's funny, like shit they did 30 years ago that kind of was like that now is super cool, but if they did that shit now, at least half of the fans would be like, they'd be like, fuck this song, what is this shade shit?
Right. Well, it's appropriate. Maybe the timing is appropriate. Like it's been played 3 times, you know, no one's going to get mad when something's been played 3 times typically, you know, like,
well, they get mad when it's played 1 time. And then if that 1 time was a long time ago, then they're happy.
Maybe that's fair. And it's all timing too, or it's all placement as well, right? Like, yeah, I mean, they would, you know, they doomed Secret Smile, which I love Secret Smile because they played it 1 time as an encore. And then everybody was like, F Secret Smile forever. And that was the old, you know, and it was like,
right, but then when they bust it out in 2 years, people are going to be like, oh, fuck it, I got the Secret Smile.
Right, exactly. And they're going to love it. Right. And again, it's going to go back to the lyrics because it has great lyrics. And this Bye Bye Foot has great lyrics to me too. Again, though, I think if you take it a little literally, like it can get a little almost like what line are we crossing? You know what I mean? I guess in some ways, and maybe that's why they buried it. I don't know.
Do you think anyone expected to come on the lot tonight or listen in, and we just talked about Bye Bye Foot the entire night? I'm down. I mean, if you guys want to do it, let's do it.
I wonder how much like Fishman, they did it the one time in '97, and he was like, I'm not really interested in playing it. And then Trey's it was Providence 19. Thank you, chat. They busted it back out, and wasn't there like talk before it, or it was like there was some setup before they actually played the song? I think. I mean, I haven't listened to it since.
Wody would know.
I don't know, man. You think we should have been prepared? Maybe I guess.
But you know, the thing is, I think there are some songs that people don't want to do, and you know, then they get dragged back, and
Sure. Well, let's go on to Tube if we want to, since we've exhausted.
Did Tube fuck last night or what?
I think Tube fucked.
The Tube jammed, and I think the guy did Tube jam, which really in some ways is there are 50
authority.
Yeah, there's a 50 counts like that, but did Tube jam. That account is the first one of those, and
Tube jam and Fish Foam are like the two, I feel like, original of. I don't remember which one was first, but they were about the same time. Slightly different. Now there's a lot of variations of that, but
there's one about Reba whistling.
Reba whistling, yeah, I know that Kev made.
I did not make it. I did not make it.
Lies. But okay, well, we'll know eventually. He'll slip up and make some sort of thing that'll be so Kev that'll be impossible to know. To deny. But,
when the Radiators covered it,
yeah,
they whistled.
Exactly. Boom. Busted. So this Tube, and I'm sure. Oh, he was there. The point of my story was our guy Tulip from Did Tube Jam was actually there.
Oh,
right,
cool.
at this show. Yeah, so he got to see a jammed out Tube, which you never know on some of these things, like how aware Trey or the band is of those little moments and those little things.
No, I don't think to that level.
That account got pretty big, and I think got back to the band at some point. I remember, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I think they're aware of the account, but I don't think this far into the timeline it would have an impact on their song selection, right? I don't know, maybe.
That's fair. Then back to the and this thing got real dirty, if we're still saying Tube wise, like it got really out there, really fun, all the new sounds, all the new cool stuff. And it's making first sets, really, these first sets, I think in Summer Tour, there were a lot of shows where you sat back and went, dang, first set might have been better. And this West Coast run too there's been a couple times where you're like, ooh, first set, man.
It seems like it's grown from there was a 17-minute stash in the first set over Summer Tour to now where, hey, fuck it, let's do 3 17-minute songs in the first set,
Tube was the third one to go past 15 in 4 songs. Like 4 songs into the show, and 3 of them were 15 plus. That's fucking nuts.
That's excellent. And then Slave. No one's pissed at a 9-minute Slave, no matter how long it goes. And also in a weird spot, but a cool spot. I think, in some ways the placement that's back to your no fucks.
That seemed like the strangest of everything, especially because it was so compact. That there was nothing extra to it. It was like, all right, well, let's just throw Slave in here. And like it was an afterthought compared to the first 4 songs.
It could be that he just remembered the band remembered its first set. Sometimes you're almost like, oh dang, did they forget that there's another whole, like they gotta do something in second set and jam out. It's like, oh snap, we gotta like play a couple first set tunes.
Yeah, I don't think they decide what ones they take out for a walk like that.
Oh, I think
no, I think some of them, but not everyone. Like I don't think they're gonna try to jam out, every song. It's like if the song and the energy in the place calls for it. I feel like sometimes I'm not ready for a 4th spacewalk in a row in the first set. You know what I mean? Like maybe I do want to get a llama, which is exactly what I wanted.
I totally think that Trey, they have meetings before the shows. They have band meetings, and Trey's like, I'm going to call Tube tonight, and I really want to get out there with it. So let's work with it. I really think Trey
before the
that.
show even.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have Zooms. They have Zooms like we do, and even though they're really in the same,
like which one are we taking long tonight? Guess.
Yeah.
Or if it's something, hey, Fishman, we're gonna bust out Bye Bye Foot tonight, whether you like it or not. You know.
No way, man.
Right.
Well, yeah,
it
maybe.
It goes back to, I think Trey's explained, right, when we probably talked about it a million times, that there's certain amount of songs that are on a list, then Trey cuts that list down, then he gives that list to everybody and says, hey, these are the things that could come out. Now the question is do things come to Trey's mind, which I have a feeling this is what happens, is that shit comes to Trey's mind throughout the tour / just him sitting around with his like very active music brain and goes, oh shit, that song that isn't on the list, hey fellas, and maybe hollers at him. And maybe that's that meeting you're talking about, Kev, where it's like, hey, we're going to bust out Bye Bye Foot. Now, I don't know on this jam thing. I'm more with Tim on the jams where it's more of like, hey, it's more organic and there's more songs that typically go. Now on an NICU, maybe the signal is like, here comes the end and the band's listening for the end and Trey's just never goes to the end. And then they're like, it's like a wink and a nod more that happens improv-wise.
It just seems to me everything is very well timed. They know exactly how long they have they play.
It's almost like they've been doing this for 30 years.
It's very scripted.
It's like, wow, yeah, you're right. PHiSH is good at jamming, Kevin. It's amazing, actually. Newsflash on Wook Plus.
No, that's fair. I mean, I get what he's saying, that it almost is too good. But my argument to you, Kev, is that there is times where, like, I thought that happened in the Santorini and the Carini that went real deep in the encore, that, like, it sounded like at one point the rest of the band wanted to end it and was like, hey, here comes the end. And then I'm pretty sure it was Trey at that point was like, nope, we're going to keep on playing it, And then when he starts chunking it back in and bringing it back, then you can hear him saying, hey, now we're finally over with this, and they're ending jams like we talked about. There's, this tube ends. This tube ends, in that first set tube. And going back to this llama, we get, I like to call it funk llama. I don't know why it had to go to slow llama. I always personally preferred the funk moniker to this llama because it's very funky.
You gotta put your balls against the wall when you play llama as fucking and just smash your head into the wall. Funky, I'm good. You can have a funky llama.
Wait, you don't like llama?
I don't like funky. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, but llama is supposed to be a balls to the wall show opener that gets everybody so jacked that the rafters are coming off the place. For me, personally.
You might be the only person I've ever met that doesn't like funky llama.
I think it's interesting when you put it out there. I always see polls, and I mean, it's usually pretty 50-50, on like if the poll comes out, whether it's, fast llama or slow llama or whatever, like I think for me, I always prefer.
Yeah, but that's a preference thing, not a hate thing. I feel
fair.
I feel like Kev doesn't like funky llama.
I don't hate it, but I'm like, I feel like you get one llama tour. Please don't make it the funky slow llama. Make it.
I disagree, sir. They better make it funky.
Exactly. Bring the freaking funk. What is wrong, dude? Aren't you? I thought you're a New Orleans guy. You're that song.
For me, it's just I want what's on the record. I want to hear what I know llama is. I don't want to hear anything different. I want it to be the llama I've always known and loved.
Okay, Boomer. Moving on.
Exactly. Speaking of boomers, let's go to Rise Come Together. The only song that actually boomers may enjoy in this one. I actually don't hate. This is another take that I hate this less than everyone else. Like,
I don't think I hate it either. Like I don't know. Does everybody hate it? Because
I want James Casey only to sing it.
It's getting a lot of takes like that because James sung it and like killed it. I've heard a lot of those takes. I've heard a lot of takes that like
I don't believe Trey when he sings it. I don't believe him as a vocalist. If that makes sense to you. I mean, it doesn't.
Go ahead. No, I get what you're saying. Brother. Like, keep going. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was just, it's there's certain like Life Beyond a Dream. It's a beautiful lyric, but it sounds like he's singing the demo version of it instead of having Susan Tedeschi sing the definitive version of it.
Do you think that'll get better, or should he just give up? Because like some songs get better, like the more they play and the longer it's in the repertoire, then he can really own it. Because he has the pipes to do it. I mean, I'm not saying he's Susan Tedeschi, but like Moon Age Daydream, and you know what I mean, and like the Bowie set, like fucking had me almost bawling like a little baby. Like he has the ability to, he just isn't for a lot of these songs. And I don't know if like you maybe, I don't know. I'm asking you, do you think he will eventually do it with that or no? It's never gonna.
No, I think it is where it is. I think
It is what it is.
with
Yeah.
it. They've done it with PHiSH a bunch of times and Trey Band a bunch of times. So I think that one's pretty set in stone.
Yeah.
But
I like it though. I'm with fam. I like it.
I love the lyric, just like this emoji, heartbeat to heartbeat. I'm a part of you. You're a part of me. That's what I love.
I don't think I
about
like it anymore. I think
I
fam
have
just
been
ruined it
in
for me.
Oh, that seems fair.
I have been in you.
Okay. All right. Next.
Isn't it a Peter Frampton song?
No, that's a Zappa song.
Oh, it's a Zappa song.
So we
is
want
a
to just
Zappa
go into the
song. I
second
have
set
been
then?
in you, baby. Let's start. Do you want to talk some Zappa? You have been in me. That's the next lyric, by the way.
Right, yes, I do. It's
classic.
on Chic Your Booty.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a set break
All right.
real quick and do a quick promos. First of all, like and subscribe. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do that right now and like this video. The more thumbs up we get on it, the better the computers do. And I don't know. That's what I'm told. Second, Wednesday night, we got a big one for you. Liv is back, and we have a very special episode. I don't want to give too much away, but I've been working on it with these guys, and it's coming together. I'm excited. So tune in Wednesday night,
Yes.
8:00. It'll get spooky.
Spooky season, baby.
Yeah, and then I guess the last thing is just keep tuning in here before each of the shows. We're going to keep doing this a lot through fall tour, so we
Only
confirmed it.
5 more.
5 more.
5 more to go,
We'll be
baby.
here.
That's right.
All right, second set. Kicking things off with the No Man.
Yes.
No man.
Yeah. And there was I don't know. I guess when they played that, I was like, there goes Tweezers out the door. I really, somebody made the comment. I read somewhere on Twitter that No Man's was the 3.0 tweezer. And that's really stuck with me.
Wow. That's
Except Tweezer's the 3.0 tweezer because, there's been a lot of great fucking tweezers in 3.0. Like the Tahoe tweezer, the MSG tweezer.
No, but I get what they were saying is it fills a certain role.
Yeah, it's like the 3.0 down with disease. Like, you know what I mean? It's in the 2 spot of the jam vehicles.
Right.
That's probably the more accurate, call there. I agree. And because it's always solid and it's consistent, it's always good. Like we talked about Mr. Completely and its batting average. Like No Man's has a solid batting average, especially as much as it's been played. Or more like, that's a stretch for me, David. See, that's back. That puts it. I don't know about
Tell
that.
us about your favorite ghost, fam.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's right over here, sneaky little guy. But yeah, no, I that's a tougher one. That puts it more in tweezer territory for me. Where I like the Down with Disease call, number one, because it's always an opener, or it's always in that, like opening slot, and it's usually second set, in some ways too. But this one is excellent. And it's something we didn't mention is that in the first set, and it happens all night long, is the NICU coming back, right? And the theme from NICU happening. This happens a bunch, and they were amazing. And this in No Man's, this has a bunch of them. It has a Ruby Waves tease. There's all kinds of fun little things happening in this No Man's. He pulls out all the little fun, gadgets and the Scooby-Doo legs, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
He dewed it up.
He did it. He did the do.
So once again, similar to how they start the first set, they start the second set with 2 back-to-back 16+ minute
Bangers.
songs of jams going into Free.
I saw that one coming a mile away, and it certainly was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was.
But that's where it comes. That's like both of these very obvious calls within ICU and Free, but it became very unobvious very fast when like it hit 10 minutes and you're like, oh shit, they're still playing this song, because Free has probably lost as much luster as some other, there's a lot of songs that kind of lost a lot of buzz,
Right. It was so interesting too. I mean, like back they did the USA or the Free there that's like 35 minutes, 40 minutes long. I was at that, and parts of that were so fucking
like 99 or whatever, 98.
Yeah, 98 or so. Yeah. But it was so fucking boring parts of that. It just went like 10 minutes of Trey on drums. You know,
Oh,
this free last night was everything that was without all the boring shit cut out. It was, you know, it was all killer, no filler in that.
yeah. It was really, really good. Really fun. And that's what, and again, I hope they start to take free out like that some more, because it's kind of found some very repetitive space, you know, at times.
It
And
needs an eminence front in the middle. Free, eminence front, free.
oh boy, here you go with the eminence front. See, but you hate the who. None of this makes sense though, Kev. These calls that you make, it's diabolical.
The song is good. That song is a great
one song he likes.
I kind of zoned out there.
Yeah, who wouldn't? I'm sure everyone else did too. No, this isn't making any sense.
Free is a great great song to jam though, because it has a really strong anchor point, right? Where the boom boom boom, and it gets everybody locked in and set up in a launch pad. It's not this convoluted, overly crazy thing. It's just like a solid launch pad for a jam, which is why you get more often than not. I would say Free has a higher batting average. If I were to do the data and like for jam vehicles, how often the jams are above average versus, you know, like exceptional jams, I bet Free has one of the best batting averages because it sets up jams really nicely.
Interesting. I see that my only argument with that is that in late 3.0 it became a little bit monotonous and a little bit kind of formula by the, you know what I mean? Like it became into those 9-minute range. It was always at the front end of every, you know, mostly first set front ends, you know, which again, I don't think anybody's mad, even if it's 9-10 minute Free rocker to me. I'm not. I know our guy Andy in Jump Radio, that's like his favorite song. And I think for me, Free is one of my favorite like studio. It's probably my favorite studio track. And in some ways, like the vocals on Free, I always want them to sound like the studio vocals, and they're just that they're impossible.
They can't do it.
I know it's impossible.
The tragic flaw of a PHiSH fan is like, I love PHiSH. I also want the vocals to be good.
No,
would you know I'm disappointed more often than not?
But I'm very forgiving of that, and you know, I'm much on the record of saying like all of them have improved and they've worked on it. It's clear, and they're better singers. And when they're harmonized great, and I love their singing. I just think on like Lily White just got that right, man. That was just a perfect mix. Billy Breeze to me in that Free. You know, you can look on the Wook Plus blog and find some information about our studio.
We should write something for them. We should talk to Wody. He loves writing for the blog.
That's right. We need to get the blog back in the mix and the newsletter.
I have tried.
Oh, here we go.
At Free.
But we do have the top 75 PHiSH studio tracks. We do. Exactly. I think that's what Fan was referring to, maybe.
Right, and Free gets up there. I know.
Free it gets up there. Spoiler, Billy Breeze wins. They're the number one.
The track Billy Breeze?
Yes, that's the number one.
We're going track.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
So, and then where we end up out of this Free and Joy? A little Free Joy. Is that like a happy ending?
No, actually.
Well, I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to wanted to talk about now.
Oh, sorry.
So no, don't even bring it up. I know you know what I was going to say, but now we could just move on. So, yeah, Sand, that was fun.
Cab.
Sorry, God.
Jeez.
Dude, God damn.
No,
oh, Jesus, Kev.
Joy is actually. Let's try to bring it back, and so maybe we can come back to it. But Joy, I think, is underrated in some ways. I love it's got really good moments. I really wish it would just like they would play it more than 5 minutes, more than 6 minutes. I wish it would have that jam where it made everyone mad that they went to the bathroom, you know, during Joy, because you know they just played it just a little bit longer or something, or really, I don't know, you know.
No, I get what you're going at, and I agreed with you at first because it has potential to have really fun, blissful jams come off of it that are unique and not just the darker, you know, because some of like the better, like with the Wingsuit Jam the other night had that blissful thing. That said, though, I'm kind of like changing my mind because I'm rejecting the notion now that I had that a song needs to be jammed out or long in order to be beautiful or appropriate. And I like the palate cleanser in the middle of the set with everything else going on of, like Kev said, a studio version of something. And I also am partial to that. Like I got the album is the only album I have hanging up on the wall. And that's because my daughter is named, also after that song. And I have the album signed by Tom Marshall up on the wall, and it's a very big part of. We sing it to her like when we put her to bed too, right? So it's like a very beautiful song for in our mind. But I don't know. I think even still, I think in general, it's just really nicely placed in the middle of the set.
Great lyric. And that was the question that stumped everyone on What Plus Live game night a few weeks back.
Everything stumped everyone. I don't know what was the worst part, having our wittiest member come up with complicated questions or making all of the guests stoned white dudes that were just like really, really baked. Like most of that episode's like,
It went like an hour, right? And it's like 45 minutes of just stone cold silence.
Then Scott's like, joy. And I'm like, Scott, the show ended 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just hanging out. Like, it's fine.
What game shows really? It sounds like a good idea, but
it's good when you get. It was good.
It was very funny.
They're a blast.
We all made fun of
Sand happened. And
I thought Sand was going to make it a 5-song second set. I thought Sand was going to be that big, and then they didn't.
They just don't. That's another piece of like, it's always welcome and always great. And like, when has been the last like over? And we're again, here we are talking length, and I don't.
Weren't the Trey Band ones long though? When it was
they always
Fishman
are.
Playing with them?
Yes, they always are. They always are. And maybe in some ways, maybe that's the differentiation, that happens for him. That's like a Trey Band jam vehicle, and he really don't see it really in some ways as a PHiSH vehicle. Oh, it always.
Yeah, no, Danielle's 100% right, and that's exactly what we discussed. But I didn't want to just put it out there.
100%. Listen, women.
Also, Danielle just volunteered to be on the next game night. So
exactly, yeah, exactly. But yes, no, she will always outsmart us, outwit us, as do all the ladies, and so you are always welcome. Yes.
So I think as much as I enjoyed the Sand, I'm really excited to get into this Piper.
Yes, Queen. The Piper.
Wait, Kev, are you muted? Because you're talking.
Oh, I love that Piper so much. Dirty Bird. God.
Dirty Bird. Okay.
Go on, Kev. Go on.
Please tell me more.
I don't think we should just let you give us the headlines. I think you need to start justifying your takes because they've been crazy. But this is a good take.
Dirty Bird out there. I mean, it's it had those moments of falling apart as it was going along, which is the PHiSH I love. That's when I feel like they're truly jamming, when they're playing 4 different things and they don't know where the fuck it's going. And some of them have to drop out for a second and figure out what's going on. That's what I want.
See, to me, I mean, I'm laughing along with probably everyone when you say that, but in some ways that to me is the PHiSH I like too. Like, I like it clear that they're taking chances. And if that means it sounds a little wonky and strange, because they're just trying to do something that's very kind of out of their comfort zone, then that is always the beautiful parts to me. And this Piper is so fantastic. Like, I think for what it misses, and this is always the argument, right? You don't have the slow build anymore, which is fine, as long as you get the payoff, right? As long as you get the back end, it's almost like that's what you're trading now. For a long time, it took 8 minutes, 9 minutes to get to a Piper jam, because you had to do the 5 minutes of the slow build, which I personally enjoyed, but it's just something different. And then then you had the lyrics, then you had the jam. Whereas now it's straight to the lyrics, then straight to the jam. You get the drill, you get the echoes sounding. Jen's always on point. You get the echoes, Pink Floyd sounding. Again, it goes back to there's been so much Pink Floyd happening, and I know I am so skeptical of a Pink Floyd Halloween.
Rush. It's going to be Rush.
Oh, dude, are you trolling me now? That I
No,
trolled
I'm not
you
trolling
to go
anybody.
for
I think
fourth?
they're going to do moving pictures. I think we're going to get PHiSH doing Tom Sawyer.
Gross. No. Okay, I'm muting because I'm going to cancel myself again because I'm about to talk all kinds of trash about Rush, and I don't want to on international television. But that would destroy me. And
You
I'm
know what's
sure it
interesting
would be
about
fun.
Rush? Their fans are as fucking crazy as PHiSH fans.
I know. That's
I
why
did
I'm about to get. I'm doomed on the internet. I'm about
Yeah,
to go.
you got to be careful. Was that with the drummer bracket or was this
Yeah.
separate? Because I did the
Drummer.
drummer bracket and it was Neil Peart versus John Fishman because obviously PHiSH fans, that follow me, that's the majority. So like it was maybe he was a little bit inflated, but they all intruded into our little bubble of a world and it was fucking crazy. Like it
Yeah.
is really wild to see behind the curtain with that group.
Yeah, which again, that's why I've already hoped we can edit this out or something, or I can recant what I'm saying.
No,
I'm
we
sorry.
can't. It's live.
It's too late, but I'm Rush people. I'm sorry, but listen, I can't.
They're
if
not
Eddie
watching
leaves-
this. They're watching whatever the Rush version of Wook Plus
the Rush
is.
Wook Plus, exactly. Rush Plus, Rush Plus.
Rush Plus.
But
Cannot
no,
flop.
I can't do Rush, but I'd rather have Ghost of the Forest. I'm not even trolling that. Like I'd much rather have that than Rush. But with all the Pink Floyd in this Piper, there was so much like, what was it the other night that was so it was Run Like Hell. It was Pink Floyd, Run Like Hell. It was so, I can't think of it. But yeah, this Piper had all kinds of Pink Floyd, all kinds of just nasty, weird computer sounds, the drill, everything that you want. Like Kevin said, it just completely fell off the end of the planet. Amazing.
Love it.
Yeah. What else can you add to that? I mean, that was a take and a half.
Yeah. It's
the transition though, the segue into Sense was smooth.
Yes. No intro though, right?
No.
Yeah. No. Is that the intro though? Is that the Sense intro? That it melts kind of into? I don't know. We'll have to look back at that.
Yeah, I'll have to listen back.
But
there you go, Chad.
Yeah, Rush plus life. Yeah, exactly. Rush plus
live. Fuck, I wish we didn't just finish the episode for Wednesday because I would love to do a costume set where it's like instead of like us for PHiSH, it's us doing a costume show.
Dude, that Tom Sawyer man last night was so
and we just geek out. We're like we should fucking do that. We gotta do a custom set.
Sam's gonna leave.
Anyone
I'm not available.
No, not Rush, but a costume set. We'll have to all agree.
All right. Well, we could talk this Sense because this Sense also is so much fun. It has all the cool stuff of Sense. And then to me, and I don't know, I saw it kind of going around, but it is Trump contest. Boom, exactly. Neil Peart. I can kill the Neil Peart drums on the air drums. But yeah. But yeah, I really, again, this Sense goes into an accidental jam in my mind. And I think that PHiSH has been having these accidental moments throughout like these tours. I think the most obvious one, it also compared to this one, is the one in Arkansas. Not to bring up Arkansas again, but when they accidentally played, when they accidentally played Weekapaw at a Runaway Gym. So basically, they're playing Runaway Gym, right? And it's just a normal. They're kind of jamming out of Runaway Gym, right? And they accidentally kind of all of a sudden stumble into Weekapaw, right? And it's like everyone kind of clicks into it. Even the crowd, right? Even the crowd starts to cheer, and it's like, holy shit! And then they just sell out for it. They're just like, okay, this is Weekapaw now. This Sense jam is a hood jam. It's a hood jam. It's an absolute. I mean, there's about a 6 minute of moments of this Sense and Subtle Sounds that is nothing more than a purely Harry Hood jam, and I will take that to my grave. That's the exact same jam.
Does that bolster my theory about the like Alpine Ruby Waves, that it was a bunch of pre-made sections that they strung together? There's a hood section now that exists that they can insert into any song. Like,
yeah, but I don't think
like
they
splicing
did that.
DNA and shit.
I think that just happens though from like recall, right? Like that's how jamming is when you're playing and you organically get into something, you all learn the steps to get into that, right? It's the launch pad to get into that. So then the next time you organically get to that combination of ingredients,
It's been ingrained
that
in your
creates
head a
the
little
dynamite. Somebody, all they have to do is like, all right, fuck it, let's light this, and go with it.
Muscle memory. It's literal. It's muscle memory, in some ways.
bit.
And I think
So it's some of both then.
But I challenge you, man. Go back in there and listen to the end of this sentence. And you tell me that basically isn't a hood jam. And then the best part to me, and this is where it goes back maybe a little bit to what Kev's saying, or just like they're dead set on kind of ending songs. Like he's like, so he hood jams it out, it bliss out a little bit, and then it ends, and then he's like, oh shit, we were really playing sense, right? So he's like, and gets it back to sense, and then it ends.
Before they can feel good, he goes back into sense.
Yeah. I mean, it really is interesting and fun, and I really enjoyed me and the Wody, we have mornings. Sometimes we have mornings where we vibe, we're like, yeah, that was we always check in with each other online, right? And go, oh, like that set was great, it was awesome, or that set was, and I was a little bit like underwhelmed with the first set, at least with this show, like at least with the fluffing and the kind of the way it was talked about. But this second set for me, and the more I've listened to the first set, I've warmed up to it. But this second set is A+ for me.
Yeah, I'm curious where you think this falls in the fall tour so far, because I was kind of thinking it was at the top or near the top.
Top
but
three.
I might
Top three. It's in the top three. I can't say that I'd go back and rate them at this second because they aren't finished, but as it stands now, it's top three.
And then like gap, and then like tier 2, and then a big gap, and I don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
No, I'm not
that.
ranking. I'm not ranking. I'm just listing.
No, but I think I think that I personally, for me, it's hard to like do that because, and I think you need to separate both legs of these tours, like the summer leg and this West Coast leg, to me, and not that they've been not in like in a competitive way, but more of just like style way. They are different. And it's hard. Like this is a great show. And I think I agree with Kev. Like it's gotta be in a top 3, top 5 conversation. But I think there's been a couple shows, especially in this West Coast run, that like are in the running.
It's the most 1997-98 they've sounded since 97-98.
How exciting. I mean, let's just celebrate that, right? Like in some ways, like what a blessing, what an exciting thing. The thing that we love so much is got like this rebirth. And it's like a rebirth on top of a rebirth. Like nothing really, 3.0 was going just fine. That's the beauty of it. In some ways, it's like a dip that never really had any dip. We're just still climbing on this wonderful trajectory. And I want to knock on wood and just be like, because
19 actually was a little bit of a lull. Like it wasn't terrible, but from where they climaxed in 17, and I mean 18 kind of plateaued. I don't think it dipped fully yet, but going into 19 in that fall, I don't know. Fair. I think they needed a breath maybe, but
but then
I forgot where I was going.
The encore, we ended up in the encore.
Which Lonely Trip came back out again, which that's really
can we just hit on repeats for a second? Because I think there's only been 3 or 4 repeats the whole way through. I'm thinking after Tuesday's show, they throw everything out and it's a clean slate for the 4 nights in Halloween.
Oh yeah, I agree.
100% accurate, which is good for everybody's sake that's going if they want, if they've been waiting on songs or wanting songs. Because I don't think you can eliminate anything off this tour. You may not get a bye foot, if that's what you were really, you were really wanting.
But they haven't played Tweezer. You Enjoy Myself. I don't think they've played Jaboo yet.
I think T was convinced they're gonna bust out. Well, I guess it's not a bust out, but they're gonna play Tweezer tonight at the Forum.
I think Harpua is going to be played at Halloween.
Yeah, I think that makes some sense. Like there would be some.
It almost makes too much sense, though. I feel like it might come out.
Kind of like an ICU. They're playing the obvious cards. There's no poker face this time.
So what I was going to say before, when you were talking about how good these shows have been, I think the West Coast argument is getting bolstered a little bit, and they better fucking come out guns blazing at MSG. Otherwise, they might run. West
Oh
Coast might
boy.
run away with it.
And Bowie, yes, Bowie, David, definitely. Bowie has not been played.
Bowie,
Where's
yeah,
Bowie
they've been
tonight? Bowie tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good call. Or in Santa Barbara,
How
maybe
about a
Coyote.
Tweezer, Bowie, You Enjoy Myself, Tweezer reprise, second set.
I feel like we should make a Where's Coyote shirt, but
Yes.
last time we wanted to
play
do
it.
that.
They play Julius. Yeah, Trey listens, so we just
He
know.
does.
Yeah, don't play Coyote. That'd be terrible.
I need to dig up. I think somewhere in the vaults downstairs, I have Coyote shirts that I made back in '99. If I can find one, I will send one to Colorado Jen because she's apparently a big fan.
Yeah. We also know that you have probably a shirt for every song in your basement somewhere, Kev. I think this is pretty.
I went for the low hanging fruit a lot of times when I did shirts. Like
You're kidding.
No, that doesn't sound like you at all.
No way.
I tell you what, one of my two biggest sellers were "It's All God" with a pair of hands praying that I used to sell to churches. I'd convince like the churches, and it said "It's All God," and then we'd put their name on it. And then the other one said "I support single mothers," and it had a stripper pole with a girl with a stripper.
Okay.
They were my two biggest selling shirts.
Let's go back to that lonely trip encore, right?
Oh.
Clarence Carter, man, slip away. The more I hear that, the more I love the just it's Trey. Trey really nails the late 60s soul singer vibe with the guitar and everything about that song.
Yeah, yacht rocky, but like singer-songwriter kind of vibe, 100%. Yeah, with it. And it's a perfect song for this, time and place, like sometimes they have, like sometimes maybe you have to stretch for some meaning every once in a while on certain things, but man, that one is just like, it hits every note perfectly for the time and place, it's perfect. And so it's one of those things where though it does have like, it is getting played a lot. It's obviously heavily in the rotation. So it'll be interesting. Like if they keep like every other show in it, people will get a little cranky, eventually, but no one's mad now, I don't think. And for good reason, because it's the best original in a long time.
And then they did the original Acid House dance record, First Tube. To fucking rip the place down one last time.
An encore song, by the way, Kev. An encore song that they play predominantly in the encore.
Right. This is true. This is true. But I still stand by my point that on average, it isn't the Grateful Dead doing Liberty, I Fought the Law, Liberty, I Fought the Law, Liberty, I Fought the Law. Let's throw in a broke down. Liberty, I Fought the Law.
That would be a good data dive. Speaking of something you could find on, Wook Plus.
Yo!
Hometown boy, hometown show.
Hometown show.
Nice. Sounds great. Look at that LA service. When we're out in the country.
You get nothing. How you doing,
Right.
T?
Good, man. I'm good. Here, I'll show you guys the floor. Here's my seats tonight.
Ooh,
what are you looking for tonight?
Tweezer reprise to open since the last time they played Tweezer here was in 2015, and they left us in the freezer. Never played the reprise, so I'm hoping they know that, and I'm hoping they bust it out for us. But
well, you know what? They owe me a Mockingbird then from Darien in '97. So
there you go.
We'll do that on Halloween.
But other than that, I don't know. I mean, I was pretty happy last night. Fluff opener, NICU throughout the show, which is like one of my faves. So I was in heaven, and we had a great show, great time last night. It was a little long driving up, but sleeping in your bed after that show was so nice, and having like my home today to chill in, and then 10-minute ride over here. The girlfriend dropped me off, and here we are. So
wow, that's
ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's nice.
How do you think last night stacked up? Because like we all kind of gave our takes, but I feel like this was a show where attendance binds would really weigh in because of that set list and the jams they did.
Really, I mean, it's funny too because it's one of those things in the moment you're like, wow, I wonder how this sounds to everyone else. Like, I wonder what you're gonna think. And set list alone, you're like, what more do I want? That first set was so right in my vein until they played Rise Come Together at the end. That was like, I'm going to pee before it set breaks. So I ran and pissed during that song. But like, other than that, I love that whole set. And honestly, I didn't I mean, I never got in the right mindset last night because like my section was a lot of chompers. I ended up moving up to the grass
I
for the
heard
second
this.
set.
I was going to
Dude.
ask you about the vibe. I heard the vibe
Oh.
was a little interesting.
Dude, it was, and then sitting out, like during Rise Come Together, when I went to pee, I ran into Abby and Fast Enough and Skoy out there, so we were kind of hanging out, and then Alex came down and we were hanging out, and I was just watching cops dragging people out and medics like carrying people out. I've not seen that in any show yet, and it was just like, it was a weird vibe all around.
Why were they
And
dragging people out? What were they doing?
just
Swinging?
I don't know, like some people were
People
just
were
really
falling out.
wasted, like just wasted, and then one lady was like being arrested and did not want to go and was trying to escape from the cops and kept trying to run away, and the guy finally picked her up and like was just carrying her out. Like it was crazy. It was like there
I
was such
wonder
a
why that happens at some places and not others. Because, like,
it
I
felt
feel like
like-
when we were at Dick's, we didn't see any of that
anything.
shit.
Yeah, and it felt like, you know what it felt like? It felt like a late 90s, early 2000s show when you were like afraid to smoke weed because the cops were around, and like
Right.
there was such like a presence, you know, they were just like standing around like watching everything, and you're like, this is kind of
You
weird,
would
man.
think
Like,
California would be so lax, but isn't that more isn't that a more conservative area where the show was last night?
and it's literally right on the border. Like, I mean, the international border is right there. So I don't know if they just have more of a presence knowing that there's more like whatever drugs or like whatever coming through there. And even the post-show nitrous scene was one of the more, I don't want to say like violent, but a little bit more like
Edgy.
in your face. Yeah, very edgy and in your face than the last shows. Like usually you walk out and it's just, you know, psh, the guys are cool. Like there it was like very, and they kept running. Like the cops were very much in the action, and they shut down Shakedown early, and like it was a weird scene. Like, and just being in the show, like I said, my section, I was in like 103. I had a great, like 2 rows back. Like I said, I was right by CK5, but the people next to me wouldn't shut up. The people behind me wouldn't shut up. The guys next to me finally told the people behind me to shut up twice, and I was like, I can't do this. So I left, and like I had a great second set up in the grass, just grooving. But it was weird, man. It was weird. So with that in mind too, it kind of is in your head with the whole show. And so today, re-listening to the show, I was like, there's some good moments in there. Like that Fluff got there, like the extended ending to that Fluff into that NICU is gorgeous. And Kev, you mentioned it to me in the thread. That Free is fantastic. Like one of the best ones I've heard since 1.0, really. And you know, I got my first tube encore, which lonely trip into first tube encore, which, you know, I'm a big fan of the first tube whenever I get it. So
Sure.
I was happy, you know, I was pretty happy with it. And that Piper got a little dark and nasty last night, which they haven't really gone to. And Alex really likes, you know, Caribbean Darkfish. And on the drive home, she was like, I really liked that Piper last night. She was like, they really got into that.
It
I
was
like,
a dirty
little
bird.
different. Yeah, it was nice to hear them kind of get there. So overall, I mean, I said in the thread, overall, I think it was probably set list and music-wise my favorite show that I've seen so far, just because of the music, not the vibe. Phoenix was my favorite show as far as vibe, and the positivity and the way I felt at the show was just top-notch, like the desert
You
air.
just
the
get on the
feeling.
lot now. What's the vibe like in LA, like at the Forum?
Well, it's kind of weird because of the game today, you know, so it's been kind of scattered here. And let me just address the parking situation. It's not $80. Like that's because the Forum shares a lot with SoFi. So anything for the Rams or anything at SoFi is like 70, 80, 90 bucks for parking. But Forum parking for concerts is usually like 25 bucks. And all those signs are down right now for people trying to get in here. It's a little, I mean, right now for 7:30, it's dead in here. I mean, you know, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like nobody in here yet. And I think a lot
Oh,
of
we
people
didn't
are,
realize we were in the venue already.
I think a lot of people are stuck in traffic still outside the venue
Right.
because the area around here is really a mess to get into here. And if you're driving, I mean, it takes forever to get into the lot and get parked and whatever. And if you're in an Uber, they got to know like the side streets and kind of maneuver around. So I don't know. It's an interesting lot. The lot's usually always good here because you can set up early and get going. And today that wasn't the case. So hopefully post show it'll be fun out there because there's usually a great gas scene afterwards and
Right.
like a good lot to kind of buy some stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it is afterwards.
My man in Inglewood, T.
Inglewood in the house. But I gotta tell you, I'm gonna plug our merch real quick and tell you I wore my beanie all night last night, and it was cold in Chula. Like it was chilly, and that beanie rocks. Like kept my head so
There's a link in
toasty.
the description. There's a link in the description to the merch.
Get one.
All you got to
They're
do is
awesome. They look
Just
good.
go to
they feel good.
https://
And by the way,
www.wookplus.com.
I got the.
I love that
PHiSH
Oh,
shirt.
there is that your call tonight? You're stealing time tonight?
I would love to hear it because I've worn it 3 times now and I haven't
They haven't played it
even
in
sniffed
4.0.
it. I know. I haven't even sniffed it. So it'd be a fun one. But I just love this shirt. It's my favorite.
That
concert
song always
shirt now.
sneaks up and ends up melting your face, and you never expect it, and it always does. But
It's a
Yep.
good one.
well, I hope
it
you have
is.
a good show. I mean, it's good to fill up for the energy, but at the same time, that looks super comfortable. Like,
Yeah, it is. Like, and I've got the aisle tonight, so like I got plenty of space tonight to dance.
you're flying
and,
solo tonight.
No, I got my crew is like outside having cigarettes right now, but there's a couple of them with me and then a couple behind us, and then I got some guys up in 200. But yeah, I'm all over. So it'll be fun. Hopefully we got a good show. Real quick, what did you guys think of the show last night, from an outside perspective?
Loved it. Everybody's talking. It's the top show, one of the top shows of the tour.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think we were all in like top 3 of the tour.
Okay. Yeah.
I really liked the NICU.
Yeah.
I love that Piper. When the Piper fell apart, I was like, "That's me. That's me."
Yeah, I agree. And that just the thread. I've always wanted to be like when he did that gym show and I kept going back into gym. I always wanted to be like in one of those shows where he kind of keeps teasing that, and it's perfect that it was in an ICU because I love that song so much. So it was like, there's my boys, yeah.
What's up, fellas?
Man, I wish the lighting was better. We got to get
I know.
CK5 to
Oh,
shine
I
a
know.
spot on you.
I wish I had another phone. I could turn the light on there. That'd be great. I know.
That's
That
all right.
name you've got is amazing, Tila. It sounds like the 4th member of TLC that got kicked out. Like she almost made it in, Tila, but then they were like,
Tila.
Yeah,
I was just
gonna
gonna say I'm also trying to manifest a Tila tonight too. by saying
Tila.
that.
Okay, I thought it was Tila. Okay,
It is
maybe.
Tila, but we're
Oh,
not,
it's making more sense. Yeah.
I didn't want to throw it all the way in there and jinx it, so it's just sort of Tila.
Just hint at it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad you're having a good time on tour. I can't wait to get you back to helping with the editing and cutting. I've been flying solo, and holy shit, man!
I apologize for that note on my door that just says
We did it
on
all
tour.
summer.
How dare you tour and see Fish?
Tim had to take a break while he was on tour, and then
That's
you go on
right.
tour. He's like, "Nah, we got a big workload, man. We got big
No,
Yeah,
I know.
come on, dude.
And I will say one thing real quick. My favorite part about this tour overall, besides the music, is running into everybody. Like I finally got to meet Abby last night. I finally got to meet Fast Enough last night. I literally ran into Rye Storm walking into the parking lot. I was like, hey, it's Rye Storm. I know you. And he's like, hey. So it's so much fun to just kind of like finally get to see those people at the shows and finally like have faces to names and like a connection. So that's really been fun.
Yeah, agreed.
The crew is expanding, and that's the amazing thing. Yeah, that's the funnest part.
The last thing I will say, and then I'll bail so you guys can get back to the show, is like I definitely miss fam. You were supposed to be here for this one. I miss you greatly. It would have been. I got your seats still, Kev. I know you were supposed to come out too, and I miss you greatly, and Llama too, and Chad. We were gonna have a big Wook Fest here, and it just didn't work out. Next time, but I do miss you guys. I'll be thinking of you tonight.
I will see you in Vegas.
You will, and we talked about that with my buddy Alex last night, Kev. Fun stuff to come. Fun stuff to come.
For Ghost
You
in the
guys better
Forest.
record
All
some
right.
of it.
Right. Yes, we will, definitely. But I'll bail. You guys have a great show. Enjoy watching from home. I love you guys. We'll talk.
All right, T, have a good show.
Blast.
Thanks, guys.
Hollywood. Enjoy Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood today.
Everybody's got a dream in Hollywood. What's your dream?
Boom.
See you, boys.
See ya.
Later.
That was the best we've done. It took us a whole summer tour and almost a whole fall tour, but we finally nailed the on-the-spot interview there at that time.
Boom.
All right, well, I guess that's it. You guys want to say goodnight?
Yeah, that seems about a good way to wrap it up.
Well, no. We need to know everybody's openers since we've been lame every time.
Oh.
I'm going to go again with an Okipa into You Enjoy Myself. I think that's going to be the opener.
I'm going to write samples still then. Great content. Wait,
Sample thing.
Fam, you weren't on last night, were you?
No, I wasn't. So I'll go.
Were you? I was pretty fucked up, so I don't know if you were.
Oh, I did tune in and watch for a little bit.
Madam Wook showed up last night.
I did see that.
Yeah, we were thinking about having Madam Wook. I don't like it, Mrs. Wook. We were thinking about. I'll probably try to sneak her on again. She had fun.
Oh my gosh, she kills it. We love her so much.
She was so
she's
good.
amazing. She's amazing, of course. No, for me, I guess I'm not gonna go like regional or anything like that. I'm just gonna go with like an old school standard that hasn't been played or opened for a while, and that's Punch You in the Eye. So I'm gonna go with that. It's kind of a
Yeah,
safe-
that's what
safe
was.
call.
That was what was
Noogie.
rocking the chat too.
Oh, it's everywhere. Brett Wooden. Brett's got it. He knows. Brett and
Yep.
Woogie, Noogie.
All right,
Brett,
guys.
All
you
right.
got it.
See you tomorrow.
Everybody have a good show. We'll
Tuesday.
see you.